Shadows rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait, captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down, fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their latest draft. It's Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, and whether you're wildcarding after Week 23 or just here to scout some differentials, you've come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-leagues. We'll break down the best value picks, sure trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. Jim, greetings. How the hell are you?
Well, been quite a weekend here. You staying warm?
I don't know if that is being said in jest because you know my team is ice cold, or if you're referencing the blizzard temperatures and conditions that we just had. It's all going very poorly.
Yeah.
Just in my realm. I don't even know where to begin.
My team's been keeping me toasty. It was tough out this weekend. Do you have a snowblower? I didn't even ask you.
I do not. I had one when I moved into this house, and it was probably, I think, the second or third week after I had moved in, and we had like a good little storm a couple of years ago, and I fired that baby up, and my driveway has got not a massive pitch to it, but a decent little incline, and it was just that it was that right kind of snow where I went to go snowblow, and I just slid right down the driveway, and that was the end of it. I decided I am not a snowblow guy anymore. So
You gave it up.
I gave it up.
You couldn't handle
I couldn't handle it.
the
Couldn't handle it. Didn't feel like it was worth it. To be honest, I was gifted the snowblower from a family member, so sunk cost didn't cost me anything to part ways with it.
Did you sell it and then give the money to the family member?
I didn't. I actually let my father sell it and let him keep it because he,
What a son.
he went through the effort of doing the work to get it sold. So I figured he could keep it, But yeah, I'm a plow guy now. It's a lot easier. I don't have to worry about it. They just come by, they clear it out, and
Yeah.
yeah, get plowed. My wife loves getting plowed. So yeah, tough game week all in all. Happy to see game week 23 wrap up because I'm at that point, Jimbo. It's getting late early.
You're just slipping a little bit here, a little bit there, but I mean, you probably dropped 6, 7 places in the last 2 months.
When this is all, I think, said and done this season, we can probably have a post-mortem and just kind of a retrospective, if you will, on where did things go wrong, where did things go right, maybe what could we have done differently. But I think it's very fair to say that a lot of the moves from game week 14 to 23 just have not worked out for me. They might have worked out on paper, fixture wise, but the midfield has really just not given me anything. And a lot of that is being anchored by the Egyptian god, who has made his return from AFCON without a trophy, without a first place trophy. And I'm at a point now where I either can sit by idly and expect and hope things will change, or I can, put on my big boy pants and make some moves for myself. And like the transfer window that is still open, make some moves and
Yeah.
try to make some movement in that table back up to the top of the table. So
you
we'll see.
changed the intro back to what it was because you're second guessing your draft.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
going for a wild card.
Yeah, Splur.
Yeah.
That chip is active, baby.
You already pulled it?
I already pulled it.
It's
Well,
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. So we're gonna do something fun today. We're gonna try to keep this one short and sweet. Usually that just means that you are doing a great job of keeping it short and sweet. I am rambling. So we're gonna do something tonight
Already got a
where
good start to that.
if you feel that we are out of bounds from what we want to stick to this episode, you're just gonna raise your hand. And if I see your hand, it's just a hard stop. And for our pod only listeners, when you are raising your hand, I just want you to say raised. And that'll be the cue to them that you raised your hand.
It sounds like in the droid voice.
Yes. Yeah, you're getting it. Now you're picking it up. Because I feel like, we have a deadline episode coming up in a couple of days, and I don't want to spoil from that. But you did kind of let the cat out of the bag that my
I
wild
mean,
card's been ripped and it's active.
yeah, you had a little Easter egg in there in the intro. Had to point it out. But all right, hand raised. Let's move on. Oh, sorry.
No, let's practice.
And
Hand
raised.
raise. There you go.
So yeah, I think like we said, there is still a lot of action this week. Champions League final group stage games tomorrow. So I was suggesting you waited to do anything until after that. We've seen a lot of injuries in the last few weeks, a lot of long-term injuries too. So if you haven't made your transfer yet, I'd hold off until probably after Thursday because, well, I don't know. Anybody playing Thursday, you're really going to be bringing in. But yeah, Champions League tomorrow. I think everybody plays at the same time, right? Because it's the last week.
Yeah, I saw a post on the interwebs that if you wanted to become a millionaire, this is the week to do it because you have one slate of games all at the same exact time. So you make one set of picks and you live and die in that 2 hour time frame. If you get them all right, you're great. If not, you don't have to kind of wait it out. So
An interesting tidbit. Thank you for sharing.
I'm really in the slums these days. But no, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Boy,
you hit it. Yeah, really, it was price drops because everyone's been, like you said, there's a lot of midweek games, but there's already been a lot of movement, a lot of managers moving players in and out. So even though I'm planning on activating the wild card, if I waited until Wednesday or Thursday to bring some of those players in, if I bring them in today or even yesterday, I can get in front of some of those price drops, get them into my squad before they
that's
drop.
true.
So
That's true.
kind of no harm, no foul. And then the card is obvious, the chip is obviously active. So if I do want to move someone back out after the fact, that's okay. I'm not locked into anything just yet, but
Tips are
um, you know, I'm not made of money, unfortunately. Tough game week. I don't know. I mean,
fun.
what just happened? What kind of stuck out to you this week?
Think there are a couple of I think there was like three big games I would say that stuck out. So I'd say Bournemouth, Liverpool. Like you said, Salah's back. Bournemouth still get the upset there despite losing their main man, Semenyo. But Liverpool scored two, Szoboszlai looking good. And Salah
Beautiful.
right back in with an assist. So
Well, I mean, we saw his assist, right? Did you see it?
no, I did not.
Okay. Well,
Was it controversial?
so I mean, Dom basically set up for I believe it was a direct free kick, but Mo just kind of tapped it before Dom actually
Oh,
took it.
that's an assist. That counts.
It counts, but
It's crucial.
it's integral. I
Yeah.
mean, we can assume he would not have scored without the touch, but we can also assume that that's just Mo kind of saying, "Hey, let me get back into the swing of things here." But
Yeah.
fair point, fair point. I think
But
was this the game week? And I actually haven't checked. This was like the reverse fixture from game week one. Were these all the reverse fixtures from game week one?
I don't know.
Because
I
I
don't
remember like game week one, right? There was the whole like Bournemouth Liverpool thriller. I believe Wolves and City played game week one. I want to say Arsenal and United also played game week one. So Spurs and Burnley play game week one too. So like, I don't know.
you might be on
I
something.
thought
I
it
don't know.
was I thought it was a reverse. I didn't do enough research. Sorry, I was kind of busy playing my wild card. But
It's another little fun fact that it might have been a reverse.
hand up. All right.
Other games I thought were noteworthy. Chelsea 3, uh, Palace 1 with a red card. So BJ slots right back in, but we're not right back in. Right into the Palace side. Like we thought, not the answer they needed. Chelsea looked good, but without Palmer. And you said you got an inside scoop there. So what's the latest with Palmer, man?
Yeah, so Rossinier was actually, I think I saw his presser
Friends.
today. Rossinier, he was kind of pressed. There's been some rumors circulating that Palmer could be on the move, not necessarily this transfer window, but maybe in the summertime. He was basically said, what's going on with Palmer? He's had a groin injury. I think right now he was being held out for a thigh injury, being kind of built back up for some minutes. Long story short, Rossinier says he's happy here. I don't think he's long-term any concerns. They're really just trying to build up his match fitness back. So Palmer being out, I think, is really just more of, considering who the opponent is. Palace just lost Gahey. Mateta just put in a transfer request. Sar's coming back from AFCON. EJ's still getting integrated into the squad. Munoz is just back on their first week. Glasner has all but quit on the team. So, kind of taking all of that into account, maybe Rosseigneur is just trying to maybe, I don't want to say get a fast one by them, but, just trying to give Cole some extra time to recover and maybe get a little bit more rest for some of those midweek fixtures. I don't know.
True. I thought you'd mentioned that you thought he should have gotten surgery. Not you.
Well, that was the other thing that I had heard. Then after Liam, we're on first name now. After he had spoken, Rassegna, after he had spoken to the press yesterday or today, whatever it was, I think that concern of should he had gotten surgery or should he have maybe waited, he might have kind of quelled that a little bit. But
Sure.
should he have gotten surgery week 3? I mean, we're talking 20 game weeks ago now. That's such a long time ago. It's hard to say. I think nowadays too, people always say just get the surgery. Look at Kulusevski. He got surgery 8
Yeah.
months ago and he's still not back. So you don't always want to just jump to surgery if you can avoid it.
Yeah. So tough for him. I know he was on my radar. I didn't bring him in because he was flagged, and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he recovers. But in his absence, Estevao, looking good.
Big Steve.
And then obviously I'd say the last major takeaway, United 3, Arsenal 2. What a
What a
game
game.
that was.
What a game. What a game.
Garrick's got the boys playing. But
I wanted to ask you on this one. It feels like, it was just a couple of weeks ago. I think it was actually our first episode after the winter break where we kind of crowned Arsenal the league, and we had said, City had kind of been faltering. But I think we also had said that City have, closed larger gaps than this before. It
True.
kind of feels like it's playing out that way. I don't have the table in front of me right this second, but I can if I try really hard. I think it's only a 4-point gap
Okay.
right now.
Yep, 4 points.
Yeah. Yeah. So, not insurmountable by any means. What's going on with Arsenal here?
Yeah, I think that's new manager bum, United looking good. Everybody's excited about him. I think the bigger story is Arsenal looking bad. I think it's their reliance on defensive goals. It's coming back to bite them.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it weeks ago, Saka, disappointing flop of the season so far. With Van de Ven's goal, he now has the same amount of contributions this year as Saka.
Yeah. What was that? I think I sent you a picture. So Arsenal forwards. So Saka has 0 goals in his last 13 appearances in all comps. Gyökeres has 0 non-penalty goals in his last 11 Prem appearances. Martinelli has 0 goals in his last 13 PL appearances. Madueke has 0 goals in his last 25 Prem appearances. And Trossard has 1 goal in his last 11 appearances in all competitions. So your front 5, essentially outside of Gabriel Jesus, but we're not going to judge ourselves against Jesus. No goals in effectively like their last, I don't even know. Like that's a very long time for, for the class of the league to have essentially non-attacking threat from their attack. I mean, that's astonishing.
Yeah. I mean, Mourinho got the goal, and then they had an own goal. So, I mean, Mourinho, he was what, 4 goals this year? So,
Yeah. It's
yeah, it's just, I don't know. They need to do something, and you can't say that it's buying players because they brought in Eze, and apart from that Spurs game, he's been a flop. Madueke has been a flop. Gyökeres,
yeah.
I didn't think we even have to say it, but
Yeah. The Eze purchase was probably as much of a just blocking Spurs from getting him because I think
that was an emotional.
I mean, I think I saw he's got like 28 minutes in his last 12 games or something like that. Like he's basically thrown any chances of him making the World Cup squad out the window. His hat trick against Spurs is basically just that's meaningless now because Spurs have been so poor. I don't know. I was really trying to look at this one and say did Arsenal lose this one or did United win this one? And I got to be honest, we said all season, like, United's attack looked good, even when Amarim was there. I know Carrick's there, and he's kind of in their last, 5 since he's taken over. They're unbeaten, right? 3 draws, 2 wins, but their attack has always been pretty consistent. And in those draws, right, they didn't have Cunha, he was injured, and they didn't have Fernandez full strength, and they didn't have Bomo. So,
Yeah.
keep that in mind. And they're scoring goals. So like I kind of got to give the credit to United here. They brought it to Arsenal.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. Title race far from over. I mean, to just talk about City, but Villa still they're tied with City, so it's still realistically a 3-team race. Tough day for the
Yeah,
Gunners, but that's a shame. Well,
yeah, yeah,
so yeah, I think those were the big 3 games in my mind that at least had some meaningful storylines.
yeah,
Are they saying?
yeah, yeah. No, I mean I think that's pretty much it. I think the other big storyline was probably the City game, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I think
Yeah.
in some of the players of the week, flops of the week. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it was a strange game week because I feel like the average, what was the average for this week? It was like 39, I want to say.
And
It
last
wasn't,
last 2 weeks has been low.
yeah, it hasn't been
It's
great.
44.
Right. Yeah. And which is not a very high average by any standards.
Well, last week was 40, so
Yeah. Yeah, just, but not a lot of clean sheets. Like plenty of goals, but just from kind of like random one-off, not the players who folks are targeting. Thiago's
yeah.
had he had, I think, over at Brentford, he had a couple of weeks, where he had like 2 17-point hauls in a row, and he's followed that up with a couple of blanks. Voltemade is essentially out of the squad. Anthony Gordon has been blanking. He's basically unplayable now.
Yeah.
Morgan Rogers is cooled off. So like all of the players that you basically would be targeting, they're not doing anything. So I don't know. If you've been backing Harry Wilson at this point, you probably feel pretty good about yourself. But
I know.
yeah,
He was on
I
your
don't
show
like those
you were
people.
talking about too, so
Yeah, I hate him. So but speaking of players, I want to give them some kudos. So you mentioned them already. Players of the week. So we had a tie this week. We had your boy Big Steve and the big Dom Shabajla,
Steve.
with 13 points each. So each chipped in with a goal and an assist. Uh, Big Steve had a clean sheet, whereas he had 2 bonus points, I believe. And Shabashly did not have a clean sheet, but he had 3 bonus points. So different ways to get the 13 points. So credit to them, 13 points each, very nice. As far as biggest flops, and I just kind of alluded to it. So yes, City did win 2-0. Nice clean victory over Wolves. And, I think we've also been very clear. Wolves defense has not necessarily been the same defense that it had been over the first, you know, 17 to 18 game weeks. They've been better as of late. But I think the big news came out at about 5 a.m. Eastern that Holland and Foden were going to be benched. Foden had a run, I think, of 19 straight starts, which for Pep, Pep Roulette, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Holland really had no one else to give him a spell. Marmoush just comes back from AFCON, slots right in, and gives him a start. I think what hurt most, or more than anything, was that Holland did end up actually coming on.
Yeah.
So folks that captained him, they got your 2 points for captaincy, but that's not 4 points. That's literally 2 points because he only got 1 point doubled. It's massive flops if you started Holland or Foden and they came on to give you a couple of minutes because your subs didn't come on.
Yeah. That would have been a nice bump for me if my captain pick did work out. Since I didn't have either of those, I flopped anyway. But yeah, Pep Roulette, I think we kind of been waiting for it to come, and I was not awake when the news came out, so didn't really affect who I was going to play anyway. But here it is.
Yeah.
I think I text you. I think Marmoush getting the start is just to get Spurs to buy it, right? They wanted to get him a goal, show him off a little bit.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
I think I saw today he was linked to Villa, even though I just saw today that Villa is bringing back Tammy Abraham.
Did see that.
Yeah. And Douglas Luiz.
And Douglas, wasn't Douglas on Villa?
He was. So he went from Villa to Juve, and then Juve to Forest. So he's been at Forest this season, and then
They're
he
gonna
was returned from Forest just transactionally to Juve, and now he's going back to Villa.
out. Well, that's
Bookkeeping.
tough.
Did you mention your Saka stat about Van de Ven? Did I miss that?
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Obviously, yeah, big disappointment flop there. Although I don't know if he would have barely been anybody was gonna be captaining him. Still a flop nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're really stings for Saka, and we touched upon this, I think, a couple episodes ago. You know, Arsenal have this kind of impending, I don't want to say inevitable, but decent likelihood, good potential for a double game week in game week 26,
Mm,
where you would probably want to have an Arsenal triple up. You can pretty much pencil in Gabriel. You can maybe pencil in, let's say, one of Timber and or Rice, and then maybe you want to pencil in Saka because you'd like an attacking threat. But when he's returning like he has been, it makes it really, really hard to just pencil him in there. So, I mean, to your point, people aren't probably captaining him,
mm,
but for his price and for what you'd like to see him doing, so you can get some confidence going into a double game week, you wouldn't like to captain somebody who's been ice cold going into a double game week.
yeah, I'm just looking. He's on by 16.7% still. That's honestly kind of surprising.
You think that's high?
It's that high. I mean, they do have Leeds, Sunderland, Brentford next, so it's like kind of the same story. You know, he's such a good player. Historically, he's been good, but he's just the end of last year and this year has been.
Yeah. Well, and I think we kind of said it too. It's like he hasn't been so atrociously underperforming that he's been unplayable. Take that into account that Palmer's been injured, Salah's been basically unplayable, that if you have all this money left over, sure, you can spend it on a
Yeah,
guy like Saka, and even if he's not hauling every week, you still have the money left over to go, basically get three or four other mid to premium midfielders, and you can afford it. So yeah, he's just in a tough spot right now.
yeah. I mean, it kind of is right where Salah was for a while there before AFCON, right?
True.
He wasn't underperforming. Well, I guess he wasn't blanking, but he wasn't really performing enough to justify the price tag. I feel like that's kind of where Saka's at right now. I don't know if he doesn't score in these next, 3 game weeks that we're assuming they're going to be a goals plus clean sheets
Mm.
against opponents plus a double potentially. I don't know. That seems like it would be the final straw.
That kind of reminds me of our friend Justin in college because he was also used to shooting blanks and not performing as well. I wonder how he's doing. Well,
Talking about shooting blanks, one more flop just to throw in. I think you'd mentioned Anthony Gordon.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
I saw another stat. He has not scored from an open goal since last January. So it's kind of the
Dang.
same story that we're saying for Saka and for Arsenal. He's getting, he's chipping in here and there.
Since last January? Like 12 calendar months.
Yes,
Jeez Louise, Anthony Gordon.
it might be Premier League.
That's I mean that that doesn't make it any better because FPL is only keeping prem stats. So yeah, that's yeah, he was I said it at the top of the app, like on paper, he was a great player to target for the last 7 or 8 game weeks, and he just gave me nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Week in, week out. So thanks a lot, Anthony Gordon. Rotten hell.
Yep, here it was. 1 goal, Wolves, January 15th, 2025.
Wow, Wolves. That's gotta make you feel good about yourself. Well,
So yeah,
yeah.
maybe move on from him if you're still holding out hope. Plus a lot of rotation over there.
Or because I just talked a bunch of crap about him, you go get him because he's probably gonna go off now.
The DC.
Yeah, he's been quiet. But speaking about other players that have not been quiet, so rounding out the rest of our team of the week. So at keeper, the boy Emi Martinez, who has somehow managed to stay at Villa all season. I could have swore he was on his way out when Emery at the beginning of the season just kept repeating Marco Bizot in that presser, but I don't know. So 10 points to Emi. Mateus Nunez over at City, who has survived cancer apparently in 1 week with an 11-point haul. Ola Aina. Oh, you weren't. We'll get into that. 11 points. Ola Aina over at Forest. And Cody Romero for Spurs with a late goal at the death.
Yet another goal.
Salvage of points. I gotta love that. Moving on to the midfield. So we had 5 midfielders make team of the week. We mentioned Dom and Big Steve with 13-point hauls respectively. We got a Glock and Ayari with an 11-point haul for Brighton. Emi Buendia with an 11-point haul for Villa. And the man, the myth, the legend, Harry Scary Wilson with 10 points. Once again, he's the only player for Fulham. I mean,
I know, but
he's like a modern day Iwobi.
he won't
It's
give up.
incredible.
He'll be on the move too.
I didn't hear that. Where's he going?
I want to say West Ham. Let me look.
I heard James Ward-Prowse was going to Burnley from West Ham. I will be moving. I feel like West Ham need defense. I don't need more midfielders. Could be wrong. While you're looking that up, rest of the team of the week, João Pedro with a 12-point haul for Chelsea. Nice to see him get back in there, kind of open up the conversation. And Jared Bowen, speaking of West Ham, with a 12-point haul. So that rounds out the team of the week, totaling 125 points. If you had all of these players, you're incredible. Kudos to you. If you had none of them, that's okay. You can try again next week. We say this every week, Jim. Look how affordable this team is. Not a single premium in here. You can afford this and have money left over.
Emmy's a
It's
premium.
crazy. Okay, sure. If we want to call keepers premium,
They're a big part of the team.
I guess, but there's not a keeper who's over 6 mil. So
Oh well, maybe
where's
he's
Iwobi
gonna stay.
going?
I can't find it.
Oh, so you're a
But
liar.
eyeball emoji for him, but maybe he'll stay.
Oh,
Maybe he won't be breaking up with him after all.
breaking up. Breaking up's hard to do.
It's true. But this episode is actually brought to you by the Serial Breaker Upper, the service for the man or woman who knows that the best part of any relationship is the exit strategy. Let's face it, dating is a minefield. One day you're sharing a bloomin' onion, the next you're realizing she eats her peas one at a time, or maybe she's a close talker, or maybe, and this is the big one, you've encountered a two-face. 1 minute in the soft amber glow of a back corner booth, she's a masterpiece. The next, under the cold, harsh, fluorescent lights of a diner entryway, she looks like a different person entirely. A person you never met. A person who definitely shouldn't be eating tuna on toast with you. What are you supposed to do? Stick it out, communicate, work on the inner beauty? No, you break up. You're a professional. You're a serial breaker upper. You don't need a long game. You need a short game that's played with the precision of a diamond cutter. You need to be able to spot a flaw, a weird laugh, a man hand, penchant for velvet. turn that turn that flaw into a clean break before the check even hits the table. It's not about being picky. It's about being efficient. Why waste 6 months finding out if you're incompatible when you can figure it out because of the way they use a napkin? So if you're looking for a reason to leave, we'll give you 20 because in this city, there's always somebody else around the corner and they probably have better lighting. Visit itsnotmeitsyou.com and use code Tinker for a free consultation on how to end it by Friday. That's itsnotmeitsyou.com, code Tinker, the serial breaker upper, because the only thing better than hello is I don't think this is working out.
I'm really glad that you didn't read it as it's not meltsyou.com.
I almost did. And I almost said finding out I was going to say incompetent.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Ugh.
You did good. That was probably one of your tougher reads as of late.
That was a tricky one.
That was tricky.
Thank you to itsnotmeitsyou.com for answering the serial breaker upper.
Hey,
These ads.
Valentine's,
I still don't understand the product completely. I'm going to go to the site and use code Tinker.
this is it's an app, I think, clearly, that helps you break up with people before Valentine's Day because you don't want to buy them a gift.
When is that, Valentine's?
I think scholars maintain that the date was lost years ago, but
First Tuesday after the first Monday.
yes, venture it's probably a fortnight after the beginning of February the 1st.
Yeah.
So it's coming up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we'll be talking about Valentine's Day
Yeah.
at some point because we love FPL.
But for now, let's talk about our teams. How'd you
All
do?
right, I'll rip the Band-Aid off. I had an awful week. 28 points. I mean, this is like, sometimes you got to hit rock bottom. I think I've hit rock bottom. I have had red arrow after red arrow. This was one of those weeks where I feel like it was very high risk with a very low reward, and I had the very low reward. 28 points. I had Raya in goal, gave me 1 point. Andovan gave me 7 points. Lewis Hall gave me a point. Mark Gahey gave me 6 points, and Gabriel only gave me 1. So out of my 28 points, I got
20.
15, 16, sorry, 13, 14, 15, 7, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 points out of my defense and keeper. Not a great start. Midfield, I had Foden, so I decided to roll based on our conversations, which was the wrong decision. Foden, Gordon, Saka, and Ryan Cherky with 1, 2, 2, and 3 points respectively. Captain ban was Holland, gave me 2 points, and Thiago. My bench, which kind of pained me, I did have Anton Stock on my bench, who would have came in at Foden and Holland, both not played. He had an 8-pointer, so that one kind of stung. That would have helped me actually a lot.
Yeah.
But just it's an absolutely awful week. I'm ready to put this one in the rear view and never look at it again.
Fair enough. I don't blame you. Well, I had 43, so
Okay, show off.
another 15-point gain on you. So I still below the average, but could have been better. But yeah, Dubravka on goal, 5 points. Poro and Saliba got me 1. The Van de Ven goal, 7 there. And then I did have Reece James, who got subbed off right before Palace scored. So I did lock in the clean sheet there. I captained Verts. I was feeling good about Liverpool. I was hot on him, but he blanked. And then Rice with only 1 point, and Cherky with 3. Up top, I had Holland with the 1 point coming off the bench, Bowen with 12, and then Thiago with 2. So really, Bowen carried the bulk of my my points there, plus Van de Ven and James. I also had Stock. He was buried behind Gordon, though, so even if Holland didn't play, I would have had Gordon come in. I did not. I also rolled my transfer this week. I was trying to get Bruno in, but I wanted to save so I could do kind of a two-person roll, or a two-person transfer, and maybe get Palmer in. I was just short of being able to afford him, so I decided to roll. I started James over Gordon anyway, so 43 points. I had Stock on my bench, so it could have been higher, and if I got the captain pick right and Bowen, that would have been even better. But moving up, moving in the right direction.
You're on fire. I say this all the time. If folks didn't know that this wasn't scripted, they would think it was, because you were so buried after week 5 to where you are, 20 game weeks later. The amount of ground that you have made up,
I'm only
the
50
amount of
points behind.
ground that I've lost. You were 200 points behind me. I mean,
I don't think it was that much.
it was triple
It was
digits.
triple digits for sure.
Yes, double for sure, triple for sure. Oh, and the thing that probably hurts more than anything else was I was outscored
So
by
close.
Lord Tinkerton. So Lord Tinkerton this week, again, just astonishingly, the AI is so stupid, but they're still smarter than me. No transfer made this week because it, for some reason, cannot figure out the rosters and the prices, but that's
It seems
not
to
my
be getting
problem.
worse.
It's getting really bad, but that's okay. Not my problem. Verbruggen in the back with 1 point, so 33 points on the week. Pedro Porro with a point, Joe Roden with 4 points, and Gabriel with 1. Midfield of Morgan Rogers with 8 points, Anthony Gordon with 2, Anton Stock with 8, Ryan Cherky with 3, and Florian Wirtz with 2. Holland had the armband and Ekatike with 1. Luckily for me and you, he had Chris Richards buried on the bench in 3rd position, who scored a goal and got his DEFCONs. That was 7 points buried on the bench. So all in all, I mean, we kind of, I'm going to say we got lucky, but, kind of worked out that way, So hopefully
39.
we turn it around. Yeah. Taking a look just at the league table here. So not a lot of movement. Well, I should say no movement in the top 6. So we still got Paul Gonzalez, Henry Paradise, Austin McGarrow, Jim Aram, Matt Wannett, and Brian Giannetti rounded out the top 6. Shout out to Brian Giannetti and his lovely wife, Sam. Beautiful, beautiful baby shower this weekend. Had a lot of fun. Braved the storm. We had a little bit of movement in kind of that mid-range. So Akshay Shetty moving up from, I believe, 8th to 7th, leaping over Connor Atasian. Zach Niles making a jump up to 9th place. Danny Wannett steady in 10th. Joe Tellerico down to 11th. I'm still in 12th. Oof. And looks like Adam Danielson dropped from 13th to 14th. with Aaron Thayer moving up to 13th, and then Lord Tinkerton rounding out 16th. So a little bit of movement this week, but
50 points gets me from 15th to 12th. So
yeah, it's tight.
I'm dialing in.
It's tight. Dial it in. Dial it in. Speaking of points, so we do have also that little captain draft going on. We didn't have a deadline episode, but we have been very diligent about our picks and locking them in and documenting them. So
Always.
I had chosen first this week. I went with Saka, and I was sitting on 53 points. So Saka gave me a nice little 2-point haul. So I'm net at 55 after 23 game weeks. You can't stay away from those Liverpoolians. There's Ekatike, and he was sitting on 48 points. TK gave him 1 point, so he's sitting on 49 points net. So after 23 game weeks, the score is Jim 49 and I at 55. Jim will pick first in game week 24. You don't have to tell me your pick now, but just kind of setting the stage for you.
Need some time. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. He didn't get the start. I was not expecting Salah to slide right back in, but that was tough.
There's been a lot of conversation about Ekatike's minutes and what they're doing with him because I guess that, like, obviously Isak, being injured, they don't want Ekatike to just play every game. They don't really have another number 9 that can kind of spell him. I don't think Slot's really been but I don't think Slot's been really lining them up in a traditional. He's kind of been doing like a 4-2-2-2.
Well, it didn't really work out for him, so maybe they'll go back.
You haven't put any thought into your pick for next week yet?
No, not really. I want to bring Bruno in against
Bruno Tonioli.
Bruno 7. Bruno against Fulham's looking nice. Chelsea assets versus West Ham look nice, but we'll see. Right now, I'm leaning Bruno or Palmer to bring in, so I'd probably captain one of those, but depends on Palmer's fitness.
Okay. Yeah. And I want to hit on something really quickly because I think I mentioned it to you. Was it yesterday? Yeah. So I know we talked a little bit about, Arsenal's double game week likelihood in game week 26. But basically, if my sources are correct, if Chelsea finish in the top 8 in Champions League, which we will know in the next day or so, and they overturn that 1 goal deficit against Arsenal that they have in the FA Cup, then Arsenal would actually not have the double game week in 26. It would be Chelsea and Everton that would have double game weeks in 26. So keep that in mind as well. Now, for folks how does that relate to your captain draft? Not necessarily directly. And I don't want to get too much into the deadline piece of things, but the reason that I bring it up, just to take a very quick sneak peek at some of the price changes, because I mentioned at the top of the app why I already activated my wild card. So I'm looking at some of the price changes that are live right now, some of the movement. So players that are expected to go up within the next day or two. Dominic Szoboszlai is already 96% of the way towards a price rise. So he is likely to increase probably before Thursday. So probably before our deadline episode. He will be up to 6.7, it looks like. Trevor Chalobah is likely to go up tomorrow. He's about 93% of the way to a price rise. He's at 5.6 right now. There's a little forward over at Wolves, Mr. Mane, priced at 4.5. He's nailed. He's playing 90 minutes. He's not like massive goal threat, but he's nailed and he's 4.5 mil. So if you think about it that way, he's about 91% of the way up to a price rise. And then you have like your classics, right? Your Gabriel, your Wilson, your Declan Rice, Evan Nilsson, right? These are all players that are probably a day or two away from a price rise. Kirby Jr., Timber, Bomo, João Pedro, right? These are a couple of players that are maybe a little bit further away. Players that are expected to drop. So there's a couple of players that are already hitting the threshold. They will drop tonight. Foden, Holland, Udrick. Can't believe he's still in here. That's insane to me. Tijani Reinders, interestingly enough, is on his way down. I mean, he's still priced pretty affordable. I mean, 5.2.
Pep Roulette might be somebody to keep an eye.
Anton Stock is another one. He's priced at 4.9 right now.
Dropping?
Yeah, people are moving him out. It must just be I think he was injured before last week.
He was flagged going into this week.
Yeah. So I don't know if that maybe is playing a factor, but coming off an 8-week haul, an 8-point haul, and for his price, I mean, I was planning on trying to keep him in the squad just as my fifth kind of bench midfielder. But just wanted to kind of call that out because there could be some managers who are making some moves a little bit early. Just saying. All right, I think we're getting pretty close. We're trying to keep this one tight. How am I doing? Am I doing okay?
Hand up and
Hand up. And okay. So like I said, we're gonna have a deadline episode Thursday night. That'll be the 29th, I think, if my math is correct. So we do not have a Friday fixture. So normal Saturday deadline. No 7:30 Eastern fixture either. So your deadline this Saturday is going to be at 8:30 Eastern deadline. Quickly running through the slates of fixtures. We got Brighton hosting Everton, Leeds and Arsenal, Wolves and Bournemouth in the 10 o'clock. You're so right. You're so right. Thank you for cutting me off. I appreciate it. We'll hold off on that. What else? What else do we have to say? Anything else on this one?
that's it. Let's see what's
That's it.
happened with the midweek fixtures and then make our plans for the weekend.
I love it.
Yeah, leave the rest of the event.
I am praying there are no injuries in the next 48.
You know, Spurs are good for one. Van de Ven didn't even travel.
I heard he had like a little bit of a cold.
Still sick.
I'm sick and tired of this shit. But you know what I'm not sick and tired of? More episodes. There will be another episode Thursday night, Friday morning. Please, in the meantime, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Drop us a comment. Let us know how bad did your team do last week. Are you thinking about wild carding in 24? Or are you going to wait till game week 32?
Did
Roast
Arsenal
us.
lose it or did United win it?
We need to know. These are the important things, people. As always, we will drop our code to our mini league in the description. It might be too late. I don't know. I haven't tried to join.
Never too late.
When is it? I don't think it's ever too late. But again, shout out to all of our league participants. You guys are the real MVPs, except for Lord Tinkerton. You're a bum. But no, in all seriousness, thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Tinker Time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop your captain picks in the comments, and we will talk to you at the Game Week 24 deadline. Happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek.